Hey everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. Today we've got another knife review, and it's a review of this knife here. This is the Civivi Bo. Kind of interesting knife. Well, I have a lot to say about it. So let's go ahead and jump right in with this review. Let's start off by taking a blade length measurement at centimeters. Well, for you people who use centimeters, about 7.5 centimeters, a little bit under that. And in inches, you can see that we're coming in completely under 3 inches. So that's going to be good for a lot of people, legally speaking. Let's go ahead and get our size comparisons out of the way, just because. So let's start off with our rats, as we always do. There's the rat 1. Yeah, this is not a very large knife at all. There's the 2. There we go. The 2 is actually not a whole lot bigger than this knife. Sometimes I forget that the Rat 2 is actually a pretty small knife. Next up, let's do our flagship comparisons. There's a PM2. And there's the Bug Out. So, yeah. Not a big knife at all. In any way. Okay. Now let's go ahead and do our Civivis. Obviously, I saved them for last for a reason. There's our Praxis and our Elementum. Yeah, not a big knife at all. Next up, let's compare against 2 more Civivis, and then we'll call it a day. I feel like I'm missing something in size comparisons. Maybe not. Anyways, here it is against the Riffle and the Statira. These are 2 of my favorite Civivis. So there we go. Alrighty. So what are we looking at here material-wise? Well, we're looking at a Nitro V blade, which we will talk about. These scales are a marbled carbon fiber, blue marbled carbon fiber. Let's see if focus phone. Can you see that blue? Maybe. We'll talk about that. Steel liner lock, ceramic ball bearings, steel clip. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and let's go cut some stuff, talk about carry a little bit, and yeah, get into this review. Oh, one thing I want to say real quick. This is a collaboration between Civivi and Brad Zinker. So that's pretty cool. All right. Let's go do it. All right, so let's slice up some cardboard. We're not going to spend too much time on this. We have a straight back blade. This is really thin, like 10, 11 thousandths behind the edge. Very thin knife. Full flat grind. It slices pretty much exactly like you think it would. Which is to say, effortlessly. Alright, there we go. Ergos. They're okay. We'll talk more about ergos. You do lose a little bit of power going through some of the cuts, as you probably saw. But yeah. Action. Very nice action. Very snappy indeed. How's it carry? Well, it's a tiny knife. It weighs basically nothing. Civivi's clip has always worked pretty well. Not my favorite clip, but functionally a perfectly fine clip. In fact, this knife could probably even... Yeah, great 5th pocket carry. So, there we go. Let's get back to the table and... let's get back to the table and finish up this review. All right, so let's talk about this knife a little more in depth. As always, we're going to start with what I like, or we'll start with the good stuff. So first of all, this doesn't really matter for me so much, but the blade being under 3 inches is going to be very nice for a lot of people. Very, very nice indeed. Next thing, like most Civivis, this came out of the box perfectly centered. You know, no blade play or anything, good action. So yeah, that's really, really nice. Fit and finish was really, really good. Next thing I like, T8 hardwares. T8 hardwares? What? I think what I meant to say was T8 screws. But anyways, all the hardware is T8. Even these screws back here, pocket clip is T6. But, you know, on a very small knife like this, that's really, really nice to see. I like that a whole lot. Speaking of it being a small knife, yeah, this knife being as small as it is will make it very carryable for a lot of people. This will be a very, very compelling option for a whole lot of people. This knife does tuck away very easily. Next thing, the blade performs really well. We'll talk about the blade here in a little bit. Full flat grind, like I said, stupid thin behind the edge. So yeah, it slices very, very nicely. Decent sharpening choil. Yeah, it's good. Straight back blade. Yeah, pretty good. Access to the liner is nice. They give you a little bit of a cutout here with jimping on the liner. You can get to it and get it unlocked very easily. This knife has a great action. I have been known in the past to complain about Civivi's detents. This knife, perfect detent. Very snappy, very smooth. I mean, look at this. That rockets out of there. And this blade, this is a small, light blade. And it, yeah, great action. The flipper tab is done very well. Again, I complain that Civivi sometimes does kind of stupid flipper tabs. But this one is very nice. It's a very minimal flipper tab, which I don't always think are the best from Civivi. But on this knife, it makes sense. The jimping on the flipper tab is good. It gives you a good enough grip for... I found push button to be the best way to deploy this knife. You can light switch it. Whoops, if I don't hit the table. You can light switch it, but push button is what I would primarily recommend. In fact, I'll be honest with you, while I was carrying this knife, I actually found myself pulling it out of my pocket, and gosh dang it, I keep hitting the table, and deploying it with my thumb. I do not know why, but that's just how I deployed it a lot. It was with my thumb, kind of like a front flipper, but this is not a front flipper. So yeah, that was weird. I think a lot of that has to do with the size. Next thing, the ergonomics are... The ergonomic lines are fine. And, yeah, we're going to leave it at that. The ergonomic lines, you know, very neutral grip. We'll come back to ergos here in a little bit. And last thing I like is, you know, Civivi build quality. Everything goes together pretty well. Internal stop pins, I like that. I think that was a good choice for this knife. So, yeah. That's really, really cool. All right, on to what I don't like. And to start off with, I'm gonna say some things that are just kind of specific to me as being negatives. And that is, I really didn't find that this knife had a whole lot of a place in my EDC. And I'm not just talking about, you know, on the ranch or in the woods, camping, you know, out on a cattle drive. I'm not talking that side of my EDC. I'm also talking my college life EDC, my city life EDC, gent carry, you know, going to church, whatever, EDC. I feel like this just wasn't a knife for me. For one, the blade, you know, there's lots of tasks that this kind of short blade can do, but it wasn't my favorite thing to use. And I just felt like this knife, for me at least, the size and dimensions and everything were just kind of off and didn't make it the best EDC for me in any situation. If I wanted a small knife, you know, the Elementum's a much better choice for me. You can see here that they're fairly similar in terms of blade length, but the ergos on the Elementum are a lot better. It's a lot more hand-filling. Better jimping, we'll talk about that. You can choke up if you need to. I like the blade shape better, so yeah. All right, so let's get into some things that are not specific to me. Let's talk about the ergos first. Yeah, so first thing we're going to talk about with the ergo, this jimping sucks. This jimping is completely non-functional. It's only here on the very back part of the blade, where the blade is basically still inside the scales and liners. And the scales and liners are actually proud of the jimping. Can you see that? They stand above it. So what this means is this jimping, you don't really feel it at all. And besides that, it's in a very dumb place, in my opinion. I don't like that. The jimping should have extended out quite a ways, in my opinion. Next up, the ergos. This clip. We need to talk about this clip. This clip is a horrible clip. Look how high it is. And it carries fine. It carries fine, but in your hand, this tall of a clip on this small of a knife, it becomes a horrible hot spot. And I kind of wish with this knife they put on a clip like they have on the Statira, which is discontinued, but one of these titanium clips. So, you know what? Hang on a second. Okay, guys, I just had a crazy idea. So I ran and got my Civivi Corsair, a discontinued Civivi model, and we're going to take the titanium clip off of the Corsair and put it on the Bo. See if that improves it any. Because, honestly, this clip is just the wrong clip for this knife. There's just no if, and, or but about it. It's very tall. This thing pokes up in a bad spot. I mean, it takes up half the knife. It's just an ergonomic nightmare. Plus, it's not reversible, which is another bad thing. But anyways, we're going to switch these clips. You know, if this works, it'd be pretty neat. I would not mind having this clip on the Corsair. Oh, they have a little area milled out for the clip, like just barely milled out. Huh, interesting. I guess that's kind of good. It keeps it from getting clip wiggle. Oh, I forgot the Corsair has T8 screw heads. Huh. Might that cause us a problem? I hope not. It might, though. That might cause us a problem. In fact... I don't know. We'll see. I mean, this already looks better. That screw kind of sticks out. See that in there? How that screw sticks through? But, wow, that looks a lot classier. And, oh, yeah. That is much better in the hand. Much better. Okay, here's what we're going to try and do. We might swap screws, because I don't think these screws are going to work here. I really don't. Yeah, these screws are not going to work on the Corsair. Okay, so we're going to take the this clip off again. Still fingering this finger. It's it's healing up really nicely, but I have gotten some have taken some nerve damage in there, and so my finger's still trying to, or my brain is still trying to learn that, oh, you can use your finger. So let's take out this screw. You know what? This might be kind of wonky, but what if... Oh, man. Get out of there, screw. Okay. Just hear me out, guys. Just hear me out. Yeah, that works. Okay. Okay. And then what if we did something like this? See, I've gone so long. I just took the bandage off this finger a few days ago, and my brain's still trying to remember that we still have a finger. See if this screw will go in. I don't like that button screw's there in the clip. I mean, I guess that worked. Kind of a weird hybrid clip. Whatever. See if this works. No, that does not work at all. Get out of there. I mean, I guess my courser could go pocket clipless. Get out of there. Come on. Jeez. Why won't it just come out? This is kind of a waste of video. I'm sorry, guys. It's kind of a distraction, but I had an idea, so I had to go for it, you know? Do I have any tweezers here? No. Well, I've never been more disappointed in my life. The clips are technically switchable, but the screws, these little screws don't work on the courser with this clip. That is a shame. Dang it. And these little tiny screws don't work with this clip, so I can't just switch. You know what? That's we're wasting time right now. I'll work on that project later. Right now, let's just get this review done. Alrighty, moving on. Wow, this knife is ergonomically a lot better without that clip. Oh my gosh. That clip, guys, is a big problem. I kid you not. Okay. So, moving on. I guess I'll get this out of the way. This knife feels so boring. I know it's a Brad Zinker design, and this is kind of his style, and I like a lot of Brad Zinker's work. In fact, when I first saw images of the bow, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have that knife. I have to have that knife. And I went and I bought it, and I got it, and immediately, as soon as I took it out of the packaging, I was like, well, this is very vanilla. This is another Civivi knife that's a very good, unoffensive EDC. You know, it's nice slicey blade, good action, but it's just so vanilla. You know, I've seen this before. Civivi has given us this before. So, I don't know, you know, it left me kind of cold. So, yeah. Next thing, I'm not sure I'm a big fan of this blue shred carbon fiber. Which, yeah, that's one of the reasons I wanted to get this knife. Because you guys know me, I love blue. But the blue on this knife isn't really... I don't think the blue carbon fiber is that good. And again, this probably varies from knife to knife because, you know, of material variation. But there's just a few little spots of blue, and it honestly kind of looks like I dropped my knife and paint got on it or something, and I just never cleaned it off. I don't know, I think this would have been better if there was more blue or no blue. But that's a really minor complaint, and I, don't really want to harp on that too much. That varies scale to scale. What is a bigger issue that we'll get to right now is this blade. So first of all, this is an acid wash, and it did not hold up very good at all. So a few days after I got this knife, my girlfriend and I were out walking and hiking and stuff, and I picked a prickly pear, a cactus tuna. And we got back to my truck, and I had prickly pear out here. I'm cutting it. I'm taking off all the little spikes and everything, and then cutting it into some little pieces so we can, cactus tuna has a lot of seeds in it, so you kind of suck on it and get the meat off the seeds and spit the seeds out. Anyways, well, as I was doing that, I noticed that the cactus tuna was taking this, it was like smudging this finish really bad. I don't know if we can see it too good in this light, but it was just taking that finish off, and it was not good. What's worse, though, is this blade rusted on me. You can see there, if you check out the video I did, I filmed it, I actually filmed it about 4 days ago. I'm not sure when this video is coming out in relation to that one, but I try and take that rust off, and I get some of it off, but it did leave behind a little bit. And furthermore, when I was cleaning this blade, I was kind of cleaning it with WD-40. I was like really messing up this acid wash finish. And yeah, I was going to sell this knife, but this blade right now, it doesn't look as bad in the light that we're at right now. In the other video, you can tell, I think, a little bit better how bad it looks. But it just I've tried to clean it, just very, it makes some parts of the blade pale. I think that's the best way I can describe it. Maybe a flashlight could help see that better. I don't know. Anyways, not a beautiful thing. So yeah, I'm not gonna sell this knife now because I feel kind of bad about being like, I've had it and I've had my fun with it and ruined the blade, so someone else can have it now. The last problem I have with the blade, though, is this Nitro V steel. I don't like this steel. I really don't. The edge retention was terrible. It rusted. In fact, in that video, I was testing out the work sharp, and that was my very first time using that sharpener. And I didn't put the best edge on here, but that edge went away really fast. I actually ended up sharpening it again, and this edge is going away again. Yeah. The edge retention's crap. I'm not sure I like Nitro V, and I don't know if it's this Nitro V or, because again, this is the only knife I've had a Nitro V at this point. But I don't like, from this knife, I don't like Nitro V at all. At all. So, yeah, if you want more information about the rusting blade and the sharpness and everything, you can go check out that other video. Yeah. I don't know. I'd rather have 14C28 in. And the last thing I want to talk about is the price. This is an $80 knife. I think it's a little bit overpriced. Maybe if it came with a titanium clip, I'd feel better about the price. And I know it's a Brad Zinker design, shred carbon fiber, Nitro V, but I still feel like it's a little bit overpriced. And I would like to see this knife more in the, like, $10 cheaper, $70. And I think it'll be good, but I do feel like this knife is a little bit overpriced. All right, final conclusions on the Civivi Bo. Here's the thing, design-wise, it is a very good EDC. If I had gotten this knife when I was first getting into knives, When I was first getting into Civivi, I think I would have liked it a lot. But the thing is, I feel like it's just so derivative, so bleh. I mean, it functions. It's slicey. For me, though, it's a little bit too small. Yeah, the clip that it comes with was absolutely horrible for this knife. It should have had one of the titanium mill clips. Right now, the ergos are really, really good. But, jimping was bad. The action is amazing. This is an absolutely stunning action. Really good action here. Can I fail it? Let's try. Let's do the light switch. I can't fail it. This is a great knife, or a great action. You know, Civivi build, it's good. But the Nitro V steel, I really hate. I hated the acid wash on the blade, or whatever they call this finish. I don't feel like the Nitro V performed very good. The price wasn't good. This knife just really did feel a little bit meh to me. And I don't know. I don't know, guys. On this one, can I recommend it? I'm not going to recommend it or tell you to stay away from it. I'm going to leave this one entirely up to you guys. This is the information I have on it. This is what my experience has been with it. Not really a positive experience. You know, I'm sure other people maybe have had better experiences. I don't know. I haven't had the best experience with it, and that's all I can say. So we're gonna leave it at that. Yeah, kind of a downer video, but you know, like, comment, subscribe. I've been giddy and stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Okay, one thing I'll give Civivi credit for, not this knife, but you know, I was getting kind of worried there for a little bit. These stickers that they've started saying with their stuff, not a big fan of them. They're kind of plain. However, this sticker, yes, please, more of this, Civivi. That's just me being petty. Yeah, take care, guys.